Good evening, everyone, and thank you for devoting the next hour of your day in support of the Illinois Conservation Foundation. My name is Colleen Callahan, and I'm the director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and chairman of the foundation board. I'm guessing that many of you who are joining us tonight are doing so for the first time. And I'm also guessing that many of you are joining because you want to hear what our keynote speaker has to say. Yes, Nick Offerman, a.k.a. Ron Swanson of Parks and Rec, will join us later, and I promise you he will not disappoint. He will be true to form in character. But before that, I would like for you to know that Nick believes in what we do, and that's why he accepted our invitation. He believes in what we do at the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and the Illinois Conservation Foundation. So for the over 450 of you that are viewing, let me share what that is. What does he believe in? He believes in the mission. The mission of the foundation is to preserve and enhance our natural and cultural heritage by fostering and supporting ecological, educational, and outdoor recreational programs for the benefit of all people now and for generations to come. Succinctly said, the Illinois Conservation Foundation partners with the Department of Natural Resources to move from screen time to green time. And in so doing, it means that you enjoy and appreciate and learn from the outdoors. Tonight, I hope you will be inspired to join us in that mission. So prepare yourselves to be enlightened, educated, emotioned. I don't think that's a word, but it will get emotional a little bit at times, and you will be entertained as well. I think you'll be glad you spent the hour with us because there are lots of features and fun ahead, and it all begins with Chauncey. That's right, Chauncey from Chauncey's Great Outdoors. Chauncey, take it away.
Thank you, Colleen. Everyone, this is Chauncey, once again from Chauncey's Great Outdoors from ESPN Radio, but I'm here to talk about what we're going to be doing tonight here because there's a lot of stuff in the auction. I mean, there are some unbelievably great prizes. First thing you have to do, if you're watching this and going, oh, I want to see what they're doing, no. Register. That's the important thing. Register. There's no charge to register, but you have to register, and then once you register, you get a little note back really fast. But then you need to look at all these great items, all of these super things that we have here, because all of these things are going to be where we're going to benefit so many people. Not just because the ILCF, the Illinois Conservation Foundation, is something that is for everyone in the state. It's not part of the Department of Natural Resources. It's really a separate nonprofit organization, and that's the important thing. But you see an item that you like? Oh, did you see that big hunt out in Wyoming? Oh, how about that bird hunt down in southern Illinois there, the pheasant hunt? Includes a place to stay and stuff. All you have to do is click on that word that says bid, and guess what? It'll tell you how to start your bid and how to go through this and have some fun. And keep an eye on it because you don't want to get outbid for these great prizes. There's also some great raffles. We've got a great shotgun here right behind me. We've got some beautiful clocks that are made out of shotgun shells that are just super to look at. I was checking them out. But there's backpacks and so many other things. You need a little trip to Mexico, get warmed up a little bit. That's even on it. This is really going to be a fun night. And we're also going to honor some people who are going to be brought into the Illinois Hall of Fame, the Outdoor Illinois Hall of Fame. And we're going to talk about those, and we're going to hear from them later, and we'll talk a little bit more about what the Hall of Fame is. So there is just so much, tremendous options and different things that we can do for you to bid, be part of it, and you know what? To help a kid smile. Help a single mom trying to teach her kids what the great outdoors is. And there's so many things you can do. And the number one thing is, let's put some bids out and help us do it all throughout Illinois for everyone that's out there. We're going to go back to Colleen.
All right. Thank you, Chauncey. And for those of you who wonder what's going on or what's not going on, we are having some technical difficulties. So we're going to take a pause on our program for right now. So please stay with us. Don't go away. Everything is still in place. We just need to figure out these technical difficulties during this pause, and we hope to be back very shortly. Thanks for your patience. good evening. My name is Colleen Callahan, and I'm the director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and also the chairman of the Illinois Conservation Foundation Board. I think there's no other way to say this than this is take two for many who are watching on the YouTube as we started this broadcast and then realized that technology had failed us. So we are starting over again. One of my favorite sayings is experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. And we got experience on this. So we are going to welcome you to the Illinois Conservation Foundation Gala. For those of you that were watching, this is literally take two for you. But nothing has changed other than we're just not on time. And thank you for your patience if you are still with us. What we do want you to know is that when I say nothing has changed because many of you joined us tonight for the very first time. And I'm guessing it was partly because you were curious to hear what the keynote speaker was going to say. Yes, Nick Offerman, a.k.a. Ron Swanson of Parks and Rec fame, will join us later. That hasn't changed either. And I promise you he will not disappoint. He truly stays in character. Before that, though, I'd like you to know why Nick accepted our invitation. It's because he believes in what we do at the Illinois Conservation Foundation, and that is that for the over almost 500 of you that were viewing at one point, let me share what that mission is, if you're first time to the foundation and to what the Department of Natural Resources does. The mission of the foundation is to preserve and enhance our natural and cultural heritage by fostering and supporting ecological, educational, and outdoor recreational programs for the benefit of all people now and for generations to come. Succinctly, what that means is that the department and the foundation partner to help people move from screen time to green time. And that means for people of all ages and all backgrounds and all abilities to be able to enjoy and appreciate the great outdoors. Tonight, I hope you will be inspired to join us in that mission. So prepare yourselves to be enlightened and educated and even emotioned, because it will get emotional on occasion, and to be entertained as well. I think you'll be glad that you spent some time with us tonight, because there are lots of fun features ahead, and it leads off with Chauncey. Yes, that's the same Chauncey of Chauncey's Great Outdoors. Chauncey, take it away.
Thank you very much, Colleen. Hi, everybody. This is the Chaunce, as I like to put it. And don't forget, you could always listen to Chauncey's Great Outdoors on ESPN Radio, AM 1000, every Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. And if you can't get out of bed, we understand you could listen to the podcast or the stream like I do sometimes. So check it out. But I want you all to know the auction is still going on for the next 26 minutes. And let me just do something here, okay? I just had to make sure my bid was in. But for you to bid, what you need to do is you need to go onto the Gala site and register. You register and then check out all these great places. I mean, there's a wine basket. There we have a shotgun that we're actually selling raffle tickets for. We have hunts from mule hunting, elk hunting, pheasant hunting, all kinds of things there, as well as some great trips. You get a little cold. There's a trip to nice, warm Mexico. Yeah, we need to look at that one maybe for next winter. But there's so many different things to bid on, to participate with, and be part of. And everything we raise goes for helping out so many programs, but it's problems of kids who don't enjoy the outdoors. That's the problem. We have to get them to become part like just us. You're watching this because you love the great outdoors. You want to know how you can love the great outdoors? Bid. You want to know how you can love the great outdoors? Just become a member of the Illinois Conservation Foundation. We know money's a little bit tight, and we may not be able to bid on some of these big problems that we have, but you know what? Those products that we got that you can bid on, if you can't, become a member. That helps us out too, because every kid that we get out there, every single mom that we get out to enjoy the great outdoors, those are the people who will make sure that everyone enjoys the great outdoors, not just today, tomorrow, but for their children's children's children. That's the cool thing. So what are we going to do? We're going to go onto the site. We're going to register. We're going to go. We're going to bid. and then we're going to keep going at it because we've got another 25 minutes of hot bidding to go, and I've got to get back to my phone to make sure we get all of that done. Okay? So that's all for you. Where? Right here at the big gala for the Illinois Conservation Nation. We're going to go back to Colleen right now.
Is going to introduce the first scholarship video.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Kleinert, and I am one of the 2022 Illinois Conservation Foundation scholarship recipients. This year, I am attending the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I am majoring in interdisciplinary health sciences with the hopes of one day becoming an optometrist. This scholarship has helped me to attend classes that will help me prepare for my future, and I am so very thankful for this opportunity, so thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Felicity Gutman, and I am a plant sciences major at Mizzou. I'm planning to get a double minor in agribusiness management and environmental sciences, and so I'm super excited for that. Thank you so much for this scholarship and the opportunity you have given me to come to Mizzou, which is a much bigger school than I was expecting to go to, but it has provided me with so many opportunities in plant sciences. I've actually become a research assistant in a plant molecular biology lab. So thank you once again for this scholarship, and I really appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Levi Buckerup, and I am a freshman at Western Illinois University in Macomb. I am majoring in law enforcement and justice administration with a minor in natural resource conservation as I pursue my dream career as an Illinois conservation police officer. The ICF scholarship has allowed me to focus on being a student and not have to work for that extra money to help pay for college. For example, I'm involved in many clubs at Western Illinois University, and I'm actually the president of the Investigators Club. I lead a group of students as we help prepare for our future careers in the law enforcement field. The ICF scholarship is very helpful, and your contributions do not go unnoticed. So I would like to personally thank you for your contribution for this scholarship. It means a lot. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mariam Abba. I am a freshman studying computer science at Northwestern University, coming to you live from my dorm. And I want to thank the Illinois Conservation Foundation for providing me with a scholarship this year. This scholarship has given me a chance to pursue my educational goals at an institution that is recognized all over the world, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Thank you.
We're so proud to have been able to give those scholarships to those kids. You know, this last year, we had such a great group of applicants that we actually paid out an extra scholarship from what we normally pay, which, you know, we paid out $10,000 to 5 different kids because these kids are the future of conservation in the state. Whether they're a future forester, a future wildlife biologist, potentially a future conservation police officer, as we've had several, you know, these kids are the future. They're going to decide policy for conservation moving forward. And tonight you have an opportunity to help provide for that future by making a donation to the Illinois Conservation Foundation Scholarship Fund. Every year we accept from high school seniors applications from those who have shown leadership in conservation, who show that they want to continue to work in conservation for years going forward. Our board gets together, we judge the applications and pick the best ones that we think we're going to make a real difference moving forward. So if you'd like to contribute, there's a donate tab on the Gala page. You can donate to our website, wherever you'd like, and just put in there scholarship fund, and you can help fund those for the future. Now I'm going to kick it back over to Chauncey and Director Callahan to discuss the Hall of Fame.
Hey, it's us again. We're having fun here. We're going to make sure that we're going to bring more people. The bidding is still going on. You have 20 minutes more to go. Let me get my phone out because there's a couple things. Hold on. We got one more bid here. Colleen, I got to make sure I get that bid in there.
Okay. All right. Well, what I want to say while you're doing your bidding is that Steve is right. Steve leads our foundation, and he lives every day along with our staff, the whole purpose of the mission of the foundation. And those young people are the future leaders, but they're also future Hall of Famers. And that's what we're going to feature next. And you're among those, Chauncey. You are already in the Hall of Fame for the Illinois Conservation Foundation. So what did it mean to you when you were selected and you were called and said that you were going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think I got a little red here. Did I?
You did.
I did. I said, okay. When I was told I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was, I don't have words. I was touched. I cried. I was like, what's going on? But then I thought about it. And you know what? Being a member of the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to exclude myself in this little conversation because the people that came before me and the people that came after me, it's not a group of people that, they gave a lot for this, they made a big donation for that. No, these people are in the trenches. They're teaching kids how to put a worm on a hook, how to go pheasant hunting, how to go canoeing, how to go camping. These are the people that have done this for years, and they don't even think that this is something worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. I mean, this is why it's the common people voting. They see their friend, they see someone in their family that does a lot of work for the environment, for conservation, for anything, and they're the ones that are giving them the notoriety to be in the Hall of Fame. The thing is that when you get in the Hall of Fame, you have to look at it in another way because it's just not an award you have on that, up there. This is an award.
It is, and it lives on. And we have 3 new inductees tonight, and you're just about ready to announce the first one.
Right. And before I announce the first one, anyone who's a Hall of Fame member, just because the plaque's on the wall, all that means is you got to step it up and do more to get kids, single moms, guys and ladies with arthritis that can't get in the great outdoors. Get out there. I'm getting emotional. Get out there and be part of it. Let's cheer on our first Hall of Famer, Brian Drendel.
I love the outdoors as a young child. I distinctly remember I was 3-4 years old and we were leaving for a fishing trip the next day. And I didn't even know what fishing was, but I was mesmerized by my dad's tackle box and the lures and the colors. And we went up to northern Wisconsin, and I remember the sensations of the loons and the smell of the pine trees, and I loved getting out in the boat, and it just resonated with me at a very young age. As a kid, we weren't very good fishermen. We kind of stumbled through it. I spent more time fixing gear and untangling my fishing line, but I think that actually sparked a motivation to learn more. I just tried to fill my head with knowledge and learn as much as I could. And at some point, things started to click, and I started to catch more fish and start to understand what the fish were doing. And so I try to pass that on to my students as well. I actually started a fishing team in 2006, and that was before the IHSA even had a state tournament put together. And I would take kids to different lakes throughout the state. In 2007 or 8, the IHSA made an announcement that they were going to start actual IHSA fishing as an activity. And so I was on the first ad hoc committee that helps develop the rules, put together the groundwork for what's currently been happening for the last 10, 11, 12 years. In the fall of 2009, the Marmion coach, Joe Large, and myself ran the first tournament in the state of Illinois. It was a fall tournament. It was at Lake Shabanaw. We had about 25 boats. We were kind of stumbling through and we've continued to host that event, every single year. In fact, we expanded to a fall tournament and a spring tournament. But in those early years, there just weren't a lot of tournaments out there. And now it's really expanded. In 2020, I was voted president of the Illinois Bass Fishing Coaches Association, which basically it was a group of coaches that started an association to give kids more opportunities to fish. And so we wanted to start an actual tournament trail that could really get the kids out on the water, that was all throughout the whole state, not just up in the northeast or down in the south, but everywhere. And so the IBFCA started in 2020, and we now have over 400 or close to 400 members. In the first year, which was a COVID year, we had just shy of 250 boats fish our events. And so we had tournaments all over the state. We had a state tournament championship, which qualified teams to the national championship for Bassmasters. And then we also gave away scholarship money to the kids that finished well in the tournaments. So that's probably my biggest contribution. My YouTube channel just started out of, it'd be a Tuesday morning and I'm about to teach class and I get an email from a coach in Central Illinois about, hey, how'd you start your team? What do you do in your practices? And I realized, maybe I should just start a YouTube channel and start teaching how to do these things so that when people email me, I can just send them the link and say, here you go. And I also created the YouTube channel because as a high school coach, you've got kids currently revolving through your system. You've got new freshmen every single year. And so you're teaching the same thing over and over, how to tie knots, how to do this. And so the YouTube channel that I created was largely to direct my kids to that and say, okay, you need to watch these 5 videos first before you should do anything else. And it's now just broadened and expanded. Kids at my school, and I think a lot of other schools, a lot of kids that come out for fishing aren't involved in other sports or other clubs for the most part. And so it may be the only activity that they do in their whole high school career. I had a student in my class, in a freshman biology class, who was on the autism spectrum. And super nice kid, and he needed to get hooked into something. Over his 4 years and by his senior year, he was a team leader. He was very well liked. Most of his friends were from the fishing team. And he decided to go into education when he got done with high school because of the things that he was involved in. And I think the fishing team was a big part of that for that one individual. Probably my biggest contribution is teaching youth, teaching kids about the outdoors and learning to appreciate it and understand that it is a resource that is somewhat limited, so you need to take care of it and appreciate it. And I've done that through the fishing team that I created at Batavia High School. What a great honor to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. I didn't do any of this to try to get notoriety. It was all about just helping kids appreciate the outdoors, helping kids maybe get hooked on something that'll keep them out of trouble in another way. That's really what it's all about, giving kids more opportunities to do these kinds of things.
Hey everybody, Colleen, we're still bidding, aren't we?
We are. The bids are coming in, and there are still lots of opportunities. And congratulations to Brian. He's now among your ranks in the Hall of Fame. And if there was anyone that I can think of that took a negative and turned it into a positive, it's our next Hall of Fame inductee, Betty.
Betty, all I can say is you have brought more happiness to more crazy people on the Illinois River, and that had so much fun with your program, with the evasive carp that are there. And by the way, they do taste good. But now let's hear all about Betty DeFord.
I'm Betty DeFord. And I've lived around the Bath area all of my life. I grew up on a farm out here with my parents and my brother. And in 1991, I moved into Bath. There was a boat tavern here in Bath. It's not here now, but they needed an employee down there, needed somebody to work. It coincided with the hours that I had for my kids, and so it worked out great. And so I became his bar manager. And that's how I was down on the river, at the Bath Chute actually down here in Bath, and how I got acquainted with the people that went out on the river, and then that's how I knew what was happening with these carp. We used to have some of the biggest bass tournaments come down through here. And in fact, just for fun, we would do carp tournaments. I'd go down there and get up 6 o'clock in the morning, go down and get the guys set out just to do regular carp tournaments, once a month on Saturdays, which was a fun thing that we did. And then we started seeing these other kind of carp that would jump up in your boat and wreak havoc with you. And we had a tournament coming up again, and so I thought, okay, we're gonna get rid of these darn things. They don't bite on your regular bait like carp do. So we had a regular carp tournament, and everybody at the end threw $5 in the pot. There was only five boats, but they threw $5 in the pot, and they went out just on this little bass chute. And they got out there. They caught 200 of these in 5 boats in an hour's time. And I said, okay, we've got a problem. We sat there. We had another tournament planned for that September, just a regular carp fishing tournament. And so between that time, I had put a sign up that we'd have another tournament, and we decided, some of us sitting around the bar one night, and we decided, well, we got to come up with a different name for this since you don't use bait. So we decided, well, we'll call it the Redneck Tournament. Well, there was a reporter that came in with the fishery people from Havana, and she saw that sign. She says, what's a redneck tournament? And I said, well, it's our way of getting rid of the silver Asian carp. And she says, oh, that sounds like fun. She says, I'm doing an article for the Peoria Journal-Star on this. And she says, it's going to be a 4-series article. Would you mind if I put this in there? And I said, well, I don't care. Not realizing at the time that when we had this event, we had over 1,000 people down here for that event because they read her article on it. And it's just escalated since then. The most fish that we had in one year was 10,602 fish, and that was in 2-hour heats, 4 2-hour heats in 2 days. We made it fun. I made it an event where kids were welcome to come because it was a family event. We're also educating the public about what these things will do when they get into waters near you. We've had people from every state imaginable. We've had people here from Japan. The Canadians come every year. But we've made so many friends along the way by doing this, and great people that come back every year. The proceeds that we get from the event, I have never ever kept any of the money that we make. My husband is a Vietnam veteran, and he was over in Danville, Illinois in 2013 and for treatment for 3 months. And I found out then how many homeless veterans that we have over there that was in the treatment program with him. And so I made it my goal, and we have raised upwards of $5,000, $3,000 to $5,000 every year that we have done this since then. Then I end up with breast cancer the second time around, and I had just had surgery with the event last year. I got up and I said, okay, we're doing the veterans, but we're also doing something else. I said, you ladies get out there and you get those mammograms, because mammograms save lives. And I said, and so now we're on another venture. And I said, and this is the way it's going to go. We'll do the veterans, and then we'll spread the word. Everywhere you go, I don't care where you live, you go back and you make sure your loved ones get those mammograms no matter what age they are. This event couldn't possibly have gone on if it hasn't been for my 4 older children. They have helped me in any way, shape, or form. It was my husband and I and my 4 kids that put this event on. And it's just worked out, everybody helping out and everybody coming forward for a good cause and to have fun doing it. I had a lady this year at the event brought me a gift from Missouri, because she had brought her daughter with her. Would have had to have been 3 years ago since we didn't have the tournament for a couple years. And she had wrote an essay at school and had won, and they took her picture and give her a big award for it and everything. It was all on the Asian carp, because Betty told me that we got to watch out for these things. We don't want them in our water. And she says, and we don't want them here. And she actually took that back to her in a school in Missouri. She was 3rd grade, and she learned from this. I'm just a simple little grandmother, great-grandma that was out on a crusade to keep these fish from hurting my grandchildren, and it turned into this. And they said, oh no, you don't realize what you have done. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I have educated the world. Maybe I do have friends, especially when the Canadian consulate shows up, the guy from the UK, Japan shows up. We've had people from Hawaii, from California, from Florida. Yeah, it was little old me that did this. And if I can do this, think what every one of you can do.
That was a great video. You can't go wrong with that. But you know what, Director Colleen? We've only got a few more minutes for the bidding.
4 minutes left, I think, now before the next video will conclude. So if you are interested in any of those items, make sure that you bid now, because while you're watching the next video, you won't have an opportunity to wait till it's over to make another bid. You have to do it now.
So I'm going to keep one eye on the screen for the video and one eye in my hand because I got a couple more bids to do. Let's congratulate the next one.
Yeah, I tell you, at the beginning, I said that you would be emotioned, and I know that that's not a word. It's one that I created, but if there is an emotional video, this is it. When we think about how nature heals, you and I were talking about that during the break, Mother Nature always wins, and Mother Nature really took over for John, as you'll hear in this next video.
Now let's hear from the next recipient for the Outdoor Hall of Fame, John Burke Jr.
I have been a hunter and outdoorsman for as long as I can remember. Been out hunting and stuff since I've been 6, 7 years old. And my uncle Leroy and my dad and my family have all been hunters, so we've just taken to the nature to be able to do that, and the conservation that goes along with being in the outdoors and being an outdoorsman. When my father passed away in 1997, I took on the role as a dad figure for my brother Jared. And we would continue. I've had him out hunting and everything since he's been 7, 8 years old, and doing all the things out in the outdoors, camping, the whole works. And Jared and I were out hunting in 2 years after Dad had passed away. We were out in Shawnee National Forest down by Eddyville in Pope County. And Jared had loaded his gun up that morning and his gun discharged. And I told him to put it away. And he begged and pleaded and carried on and everything, and then that was when I made the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life, and I let him take that gun in the woods, and ultimately he dropped it out of his deer stand, it discharged, and it shot and killed him. So ensued a 14-hour search for him, and the worst 2 days of my life, having to drive home then and tell my mom that my brother Jared was gone. And it took me a long time to be able to get over that. For one, it was a traumatic experience. Then as I was getting over it and coming into light and coming to grips with actually not blaming myself so much anymore, I started Start This, because we're doing a lot of stuff with different organizations, National Wild Turkey Federation. We're taking all these kids out and that. I go, I want to start something where we can do hunter safety courses and also be able to take the disabled, disadvantaged, and folks that I've taken for granted that I've been able to do the things that I've been able to do, until I started taking some of these folks out that were just that can't do it. And once you take those people out that can't do it, it opens up a whole new door in your life that you get to see these things and the smiles and that you create. It's just it's heartwarming, and I wanted to do that in my brother's name and create a legacy for him. And that's what we've done. And since 2014, we've got our 501c3. We've probably had over 125 outings since 2014. There was a gentleman by the name of Jared Emig. Him and his wife, Lisa, we got to take them out. Jared was fighting brain cancer for like 4 or 5 years, and it got to be where it was coming down, where a lot of the chemo wasn't working for him anymore. And this was in November, October, November. I got the chance to take them out to Montana to go on an elk and mule deer hunt. And Jared, even through what he was going through, he was able to end up taking a mule deer and an elk out there, and that was like a dream for him. And that dream was fulfilled. And it also offered them a chance to be together and get away from the monotony of their daily life of thinking about the cancer and thinking about what they did every day with it, the realization of what was coming, and it allowed them to forget about it for just that week. And Lisa tells me all the time that that's what it was. And unfortunately, Jared passed away January 15th that year. And that was a very humbling experience for me. Whatever outdoor venture it is, I know we do a lot of stuff hunting-wise, but it doesn't need to be hunting. It can be anything you want to do, anything that's out in nature. You could have a camping, you could, whatever you think you want to do, just go out and ride ATVs in the mountains, or go horseback riding in the mountains, do anything in Southern Illinois, the great state we have here, that there's a lot of opportunities to get out and do some of this stuff, and we can provide all that. We've got track chairs, and we make it happen. No matter what we got to do, we will get it. It'll happen. One way or another, we'll make sure it happens for the folks that want to do it. When I say disadvantaged means somebody that might not have the time or the opportunity, or not necessarily be disabled, but they don't have, maybe it's monetary issues that they don't have, but they've always wanted to do something, and if this can help them out and bring their soul back to where it needs to be, we're in for it. I think it's important that we teach the younger generation about conservation and being out in nature, because frankly, nature is healing. No matter what you do in nature, you could be hurting so bad, you get out in nature, and at least I feel that nature has healed me. I went out and sat in my deer stand 2 days after Jared had passed away, because that's where I get a lot of my thoughts collected, and you just see nature. You see it come to life in the morning. You watch it go to bed at night. You just get to see so many awesome things that you'd never see if you were sitting at home on your couch. My nomination is a reflection of the whole Jared Burke Foundation, the Burke family, and what we do, and all the volunteers and all the people that donate and volunteer to Jared Burke Foundation. It wasn't for them. I mean, like I said, my time gets kind of limited. People step up all the time and do what needs to be done to take care of it, and for that I'm very thankful. We'll be continuing on. It's just going to get bigger and better, and I'd love to be able to take as many folks out as I can to get them out on things that matter the most to them, to at least give them a break from the monotony of what they may be going through, just to be able to share that moment that they're happy.
Steve, I am so honored about these people that are being brought into the Illinois Outdoor Hall of Fame. I mean, it's truly remarkable, the things that they've done and how they've done it over the years. And you could see the love in their heart for somebody else and the outdoors, really. But you know why we're here? I'm going to be blunt. We need money. The Illinois Conservation Foundation is not supported by the Illinois DNR or the state legislature or anybody. It's really supported by, you know what? You are the ones that will get the kids out in the outdoors. You are the ones that are going to be able to get the veterans out there. You are the ones that are going to get the single moms to learn how they can get their kids interested in the outdoors. And if you're worried about screen time, the green time, you know what? Take a kid out, show him something new in the outdoors, and if he says, well, I don't know what that is, say, look it up on your phone. Make his screen time the green time. Okay? Remember that. But Steve, we got to raise some more money here.
Right. I mean, the main thing that we're looking to do tonight is we have this great project going on in Chicago right now at William Powers State Park, and we're just a few $1,000s short of fully funding that project.
That's it?
That's it. A few $1,000s will put us over the line. We're going to get this project done this year. It's going to happen.
Where is it, William Powers? People are going, William Powers? I don't know where that is.
South side of Chicago, and it's in a very underserved area where we know that we need to be reaching out to people about the outdoors. These are people that live in that area, don't have access. They don't know landowners. They don't have land. They don't have the ability to just pick up their fishing pole and go outside and throw it in the water, you know. So what we're doing there is we're building a handicapped accessible fishing pier, a bike fix-it station, a kayak launch, and several other site improvements that are just, you know, going to help these people get outside.
And because it's right in my own backyard, I bet you there's people watching this that don't know William Powers Conservation Area. If you're going to Indiana through the Chicago Skyway, look to the right. That's it. But you know what? They have walleye, largemouth, perch, and muskie. Muskie are in William Powers Conservation Area. That's why we have to get those kids excited about that. How can they do that?
Well, we're asking for donations tonight, both for that and for several other projects we have going on, smaller projects, which we'll go through here in a minute. So, if you can donate, you can go to the website. You can donate on the Gala page. We had some selections for you on the auction site, which is now closed, so you won't be able to use those. But on the Gala page, if you click on the donate tab, or you can go to our website, ilconservation.org. There's a donate button very prominently in the upper right-hand corner. Just put in the notes what you'd like to donate for. If it's for William Powers, you can put that in there. If you just want to make a general donation, you can put that in there too. Or, Chauncey and I are getting ready to go through a couple other things that you might want to donate to here in a minute.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, to get somebody out in the great outdoors who love it as much as the two of us guys do, we've got to get more people. We got to get all those kids, moms, aunts, uncles, the young guys, and you know what? Even the more mature sportsmen, they need to be in the outdoors. What do we got?
So the first level we're asking for is $2,500. So $2,500 can either contribute towards the William Powers Project and would go very close to putting us over the edge for that. $2,500 for us could also sponsor a youth mentored waterfowl hunt at our Torstenson Youth Conservation Education Center.
Oh, got my interest on that one.
Yeah, we've got a great waterfowling site, and we do mentored hunts year round for all different types. And it's a 750-acre site about 15 miles west of Rockford. It's only about an hour from the western suburbs. We bring kids out there all the time. We see, on average, about 4,000 kids a year come through our site, either to learn about conservation education or to do mentored hunts.
Yeah. And you know how when you got those kids hooked? They're sitting in the duck blind with the people that are there to help them, and they're calling the ducks, and all of a sudden, a duck calls back. And those kids' eyes get this big, and they go, wow, that's cool. That's worth $2,500.
$2,500, and it's a great program we have going up there. Mike Polhamus and Tom Hoffman, our staff members up there, our education director and property manager, do a great job. They get the kids excited when they're there. They're the ones out there prepping all the blinds, getting everything ready every season. We don't have a bunch of guys working this site. It's just those two on 750 acres, and bringing kids out all the time. It's great.
I get excited when I go out there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be turkey hunting up the street from them. But I get excited.
Yeah. $2,500 if duck hunting's not your thing, $2,500 is enough to sponsor a youth and women's wing shooting clinic for up to 48 people on any given weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah, we sponsor the DNR's wing shooting program where over the course of 2 days over the weekend, we can have up to 24 people each day come out. It's volunteer instructors that are certified by IDNR. I myself am a wing shooting instructor.
Whoa!
I got a request to go teach a class today, actually. So we get these kids out there and women and truly just any beginner shooter. Anybody who wants to come and learn how to shoot clay targets. We get them out there for one-on-one instruction. With an instructor. Each class is 4-to-1 student ratio, and during the 4 hours that you'll be shooting, 1 hour of that time is dedicated to you specifically. So by the time you're done with that, if you've never shot a gun before, you'll be breaking clays in no time.
Wow, that's cool. And he just mentioned about the women learning how to shoot. My dad worked nights and weekends, so it was my mother who taught me how to fish, how to clean fish, how to pick mushrooms, how to go camping. It was my mother who taught me about the outdoors before I got older and got into scouting and everything else, and she still would correct me when I was doing wrong. Yeah. But that's okay. Moms are allowed to do that. So get moms into the outdoors because it only gets better.
Yeah, if the moms don't know how to shoot, they can come out and learn how to shoot. If they just want to come and take pictures of their kid out there shooting, that's great too. We've had all kinds out there. And trust me, I've taught people who have never picked up a gun before, ever. So it's a great program. You can find more information about that on our website too.
Cool. What else do we got here?
Well, and I'd also like to thank, we did have one donation come in before the auction went off, so I'd like to thank Painters District Council number 30 for their $2,500 donation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Moving on, $1,000 donation. So at $1,000, again, this is going to put us very close to finishing up funding that William Powers project, which I should mention, we are partnering with the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, the Union Sportsmen's Alliance, and IDNR on getting this project done. Everybody's got a lot of money in the pot for this. As many of you know, materials prices, labor prices, everything has gone up over the last couple of years. This project was initiated 5 years ago. So we've had to go back and ask for additional funding from some of these groups. They've all kicked in. Everybody's excited about getting this done. And now you can finish it off. So $1,000 will put us very, very close to being able to finish this as well.
And if you don't think a kid from the inner city needs to get out into the outdoors, you're looking at one. I grew up in Inglewood as a kid. It wasn't pretty when I was there. And you know what? I now talk about the outdoors and enjoy it so much I get in trouble for it. What else?
So $1,000 this year, we were approached by the National Archery in Schools program, and they just had their state shoot in Springfield last weekend. I was there handing out scholarships, and those scholarships are for $1,000. And ICF paid for 5 of those scholarships. National Archery in Schools program paid for 5 scholarships. We were able to get the 10 top archers from the state tournament each a $1,000 scholarship. So $1,000 can sponsor one of those scholarships for one of those archers, which, you know, is a great program. If there's probably a school near you that has it that you're unaware of, there's a map on our website you can check out, ilconservation.org, and you can see if there's a school near you that offers that National Archery in Schools program.
Yeah, and there's a big archery national tournament going on at Red Lake in the month of June, so there's plenty of opportunity to see the archery. And don't forget, we're talking about all the fishing at William Powers and other places around Illinois. Get your kids interested in the outdoors. Listen close to this, moms and dads. They can join their local high school bass fishing team. Somebody's going to pick up on they're doing good fishing, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door that says, hey, we're from this college. We want to offer your child a college scholarship for fishing at our college. Where was this when we were little?
I know, right? I know. So, you know, obviously education is very important to us at the Conservation Foundation. So another 2 ways in which $1,000 can help conservation education in Illinois, we offer grants for teachers to take their classes on biodiversity field trips. So a teacher applies for a grant with us. They'll cover the cost of buses, substitutes, anything necessary to take your class to any biodiversity site in Illinois. It could be a state park, could be a forest preserve, could be a museum. They can go to any one of these sites, and the cost is generally right around $1,000. So you could sponsor one of these biodiversity field trips. Another education program we do, schoolyard habitat action grants. Schools can apply for funding from us to build a habitat on the school site. So the kids get to participate in the planning, the design, the building, the growing, every aspect of putting a habitat, which, you know, usually looks like a butterfly garden or something similar to that, which, you know, obviously the kids love when they come in out at recess. And it's a great way to teach kids about conservation. Again, $1,000 easily covers the cost of one of those schoolyard habitat action grants.
It's just an amazing thing what you can do to help so many people throughout the state of Illinois get into the great outdoors. It really is.
Yeah, and once again, before the auction closed, we did have one of those $1,000 donations come in. Thank you, David Plody, for your $1,000 donation.
Thank you, David, very, very much. Got to remember, enjoy Illinois. It's right in your own backyard.
Thank you. Yeah, and the last level we'll go to right now is $500. So for $500, you can help us run our Torstenson Youth Conservation Education Center by purchasing seed for food plots. This helps the kids be successful when they're coming out there hunting. They get to learn about what a food plot is, learn about why this is important, why hunting is important to conservation, why buying a license is important to conservation. We teach them everything they need to know, including how to hunt.
Exactly. For 27 years, the best thing we've had in Illinois, besides a lot of great people working for IDNR, is the ILCF, the Illinois Conservation Foundation. And you know what? It's made up of people just like you, me, and Steve.
Yeah, you know what it can also do? We also sponsor continuing education for teachers in the area of conservation. It's called the Entice program, and that's another thing that $500 could sponsor an Entice program for up to 45 teachers to get continuing education credit to come and learn about how to teach conservation to kids in the classroom.
Cool. Well, you still have time. You become a member. Join the Illinois Conservation Foundation. It'll make you feel good, okay?
Yeah, if you can't afford any of those levels, or you just can't do it right now, we know everybody can't. $35 to become a member is all it costs. We'll send you a free gift. I think we even got one of these right here. You get one of these tumblers. You get a card from us. You know, our heartfelt thank you. If you want to donate any other amount, you have that option to enter your own amount on our website or on the Gala page, any part of that. And thank you so much to ICF board member Barbara Johnson, who donated $500 earlier today, again, before the auction shut down.
Very good.
So thank you, Barb. We truly appreciate all of our donors, and thank you all for your consideration.
Thank you. Good job. We're going to give it to the Director?
Yep, we'll pass it on over for an introduction of our keynote speaker.
All
Okay.
right. Well, thanks to you both. And while you two were talking about all of the needs and all of the ways to be supportive, Crystal Kerfman also donated $1,000. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge and thank Crystal Kerfman Shaw for her generosity tonight as well. And now, what many of you have been waiting for. The moment has finally arrived. Drum roll, please, if you will. Ron Swanson of Parks and Rec is now in your house or your office or your car, or wherever you may be. Nick Offerman in real life is a native Illinoisan, and we met a few years ago at our alma mater, the University of Illinois. And while most of us know him as an actor, he's an accomplished woodworker and an author of 5 New York Times best-selling books, including the most recent one, Where the Deer and the Antelope Play. And it's that work that prompted me to ask if he would consider being our keynote speaker. What you're about to see and hear lives up to the message that he gave to the University of Illinois graduates when he was the commencement speaker, when he said, "Always maintain the attitude of a student." Nick encourages all to be students of Mother Nature and the great outdoors. So welcome back home, Nick.
Director Callahan, thank you very kindly for that extremely generous introduction, although I fear you may have slightly over-egged the pudding. You'll find I'm rather more of a Kendall and Grundy County guy, with some time also served, unfortunately literally, in Urbana-Champaign, but I've always wanted to play Springfield. I never imagined that I'd wind up in a couple episodes of The Simpsons, which everyone knows is fictionally set in our Illinois Springfield, before I made this real-world debut today. So I'm finally relieved to have made it here, even in this slightly less ephemeral fashion. A pro tip for getting me to show up in person next time: invite me when the sweet corn is in season. Now, I have had the great advantage of growing up in a big rural family around Minooka, Illinois, chock full of grown-ups who encouraged us to be outside, preferably out in nature, as opposed to the Louis Joliet Mall, either at our swimming pond, out in the local woods, or down to the creek with the treehouse that I built with my neighbor Steve, that may or may not have been a carefully hidden trespassing situation. Every one of the 5 households in our family maintained at least one fishing boat, so a lot of leisure time was spent being pretty impolite to some earthworms, and I also had an old town canoe I could borrow from a friend to monitor the local cadre of beavers. Our area was lousy with waterways, situated within spitting distance of the Kankakee, Illinois, Des Plaines, and Fox Rivers, which meant a lot of different parks, forest preserves, and old towpaths like McKinley Woods, the I&M Canal Corridor, Starved Rock, and Goose Lake Prairie, which I thought I heard got sold and turned into a brewery, but apparently that was fake news. So, thanks, Obama. When I went to school in Shampoo Banana, my friends and I spent a great deal of time up and down and in the Sangamon River, except where swimming and revelry was prohibited by law, in which case we definitely did not go skinny dipping. We just parked nearby and legally, ardently thought about it. Hiking the surrounding woodlands was perhaps the single greatest source of solace in my stress-filled college career, besides copious amounts of Goose Island IPA. Oh, just figured it out. Sorry, Obama. Now, I could go on and on, but I think you get the picture, that these interactions I've been able to have in my life in the out of doors, basically for free, fueled a love of nature in me that has manifested in a relatively decent career so far, comprised of projects based directly or indirectly upon that inspiration. Things like parks, canoes, hiking, woodworking, fishing, and other forms of recreation. What I'm driving toward is that I owe you folks at the Illinois Conservation Foundation a profound debt of gratitude for staunchly performing this imperative task of maintaining the health of our wilderness spaces for their own sake and also for the sake of us dumb, ham-eating machines. Not only have you all inspired in me a love of Mother Nature, but also a yearning to better understand our complicated human relationship with her. As our awareness grows of the ways in which our society is painfully being made to recognize our harmful extractive practices in the forests, rivers, lakes, and prairies, we will instead revert more and more to regenerative practices, more in keeping with the way nature has been minding the store all along. At least that is my hope, because by being responsible in our dealings with the great economy of our Illinois watersheds, we then stand a much better chance of employing a more decent set of values in our dealings with one another. By helping us be good citizens of the planet, you and your efforts help us to be good conscientious citizens, period. I mean, we have a ways to go, but you have certainly pointed us in the right direction. I'm particularly moved by the 3 new Hall of Fame inductees you're honoring today. John Burke Jr., between your attention to gun safety and helping those with disabilities get much improved access to the great outdoors, it seems you are killing several birds with one stone, if the ornithologists will permit me that particular indiscretion. When life gave the heroic Betty DeFord silver and bighead carp, she made lemonade, as it were, which, while not tasting great, did the Illinois River and our homeless veterans a lot of good. And last but not least, I owe Brian Drendel an enormous thank you, not only for establishing fishing as an honest-to-God, school-funded activity, which also happens to involve possibly the most powerful way to get our population to spend time outside, but thank you also personally for waiting until I was well graduated and gone before you did it, because otherwise I would not have done anything with my life but fish, and I would have missed all the free bacon that people have been sending me over the last 13 years or so, since my character Ron Swanson showed up. Thanks again to all of you for your fine and important work.
Well, never lose the attitude, never lose the desire to be the student. And you could tell, Steve, even though Nick is from Illinois and he talked about all the different sites, his home area of Manuka, he really continues to be a student. A lot of the things that he talked about, you could tell that he studied that before he felt that he was ready and prepared to do that video for us.
Absolutely, and that's one reason why conservation education is so important to us at the Illinois Conservation Foundation, because you never know when one of these kids who comes out for a mentored hunt or participates in a biodiversity field trip or whatever it is going to be the next Nick Offerman, who's going to write 5 bestsellers, most of which are about some sort of conservation topic, or agrees to do this event because he's from Illinois and cares about conservation.
Absolutely.
And, other than now knowing that sweet corn will attract celebrity keynote speakers, that's what we've learned. Right?
I think we can do that too. I know when that sweet corn is ready here in Illinois. So I think we can make sure that he gets a return invitation.
Right.
This time, right in Illinois and in person.
Yeah, and thank you to Nick Offerman. Thank you to Chauncey Nigel for agreeing to be our MC tonight. a member of the Hall of Fame. Chauncey, we appreciate you and everything that you do and continue to do for the foundation.
And Justin Greaves and Cindy Timmerman, we couldn't have done this without them. I know we had technical difficulties that had nothing to do with either one of them. That was completely out of everyone that was here's control, and yet we were able to just keep going and marching on. The one thing that I would like to close with that I think is in keeping with the being in the attitude of being a student, and for all the reasons, because we know that nature and the outdoor is healing, it's good for the soul. I just returned from a conference where one of the speakers said we should all try to emulate nature, because nature is diverse and nature is colorful. And if you look at this and see the colors that are displayed here, both in the flora and the fauna and the people who are participating, that's what we do every day. It is our goal, the conservation, the preservation, and the presentation of our state's natural resources, and thanks to the foundation for making a lot of those programs possible for the Department of Natural Resources. So thanks to you, Steve.
And none of that would be possible without all of you who participated tonight, whether it was just to tune in, whether it was to make a donation, buy an auction item, a raffle ticket. Thank you so much to all of you. We truly appreciate all of our donors and participants. And thanks for sticking with us to this point.
That's right. Thank you, everyone, and good night.